What's happening, boxing? What's happening, YouTube? Amp about that boxing. Man, this week in boxing, I'm just going to do this week in boxing. I was going to do separate videos, but I'm got a long recovery ahead of me, so I'm not going to be able to keep chopping and doing videos like I've been doing because of my injury. So let's get into this week in boxing. First off, first thing I got to address is Teofimo and Rolando Romero splitting. All right, they went their separate ways, and I have an update on that situation. Rolly got on, I believe he was on Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype. And he stated that basically this is not Teofimo Lopez, the guy that we're seeing right now. This is not Teo. All right. He said that Teofimo Lopez is acting like he's broke. He said that he talked the man out of ending himself at least twice. At least twice. And then he sums it up by saying, you know, he don't want to go into great details, but he has several boxing videos of him smashing Teofimo in the ring. No HMO insurance. But of him beating the ish out of Teofimo Lopez, bloody in his nose, everything. And he hasn't put him out because he's just not petty like that. Then he goes on to say that basically Teofimo Lopez needs to stop messing with people that know so much about him. Knows his secrets. Now, I understand what's happening. I told y'all this was going to happen. It's supposed to happen. Teo is running out of options. He don't want to face no Devin Haney. He don't want to face Matias. I don't even think he want to face old school Barroso. So who does he turn to? Who he thinks is the easier mark? Now, I think that he believes that Rolando Romero will probably beat Pitbull Cruz. I think Teofimo believes this. That's why he's trying to already fish for fighting Rolly in the future, possibly after this fight. That's what I think. See, these boxers be doing some crazy ass shit all the time. Like, think about this, okay? Teo should be concentrating on Jermaine Ortiz, but he been spending all his time talking about everybody but the guy he's facing. You know how disrespectful that is and how that feels? But it also shows that you are not focused. Teofimo's not focused. He's all over the place. He's all over the place. Saying he's starting a promotional company, but you can't even promote one fight correctly. Like, this is throwing me off now. See, I had his back on starting and trying to do his own thing. Every time he sounds like he's going to do something smart, he turns around and does some stupid shit. This is just Teo. And I've about had it now. See? Because I gave him praises just not even a good week ago. This is what I'm talking about in boxing, y'all. All this social media shit. Let's keep it moving, though. Let's keep it moving. More news. All right. More news in boxing this week. We're going to call this The Young and the Boxless. That's going to be the name of the drama. It's a soap opera in boxing. These dudes talk more than they do anything else. So in this episode of The Young and the Boxless, we have got Shakur Stevenson's trainer, Willie Moses, his granddaddy or whatever he is to Shakur, saying it back when they were at Olympic training camp. Erickson Lubin, 28-year-old Erickson Lubin, I believe he's 26, 2-0. Super welterweight, slaps Devin Haney and takes his shoes. Okay, I don't know what relevance this has to boxing, y'all. I'm just telling y'all the shit that's happening right now in the sport of boxing. This is why I'm calling it The Young and the Boxers. Because these motherfuckers is just all about drama. I'm just being 100 with y'all. These guys is all about drama. Okay, so apparently Erickson Lubin, who at this time, we can't get a true confirmed time or age or whatever whenever this happened. Some people are saying Devin was 14 and he was 17. This is one story. The other story is that Devin was 17 and he was 20. All right, either way, okay, you got grown ass men, including Willie Moses, sitting around and allowing these things to happen. Now, he apparently wasn't there. He must have heard about it because he said he found out what happened later because another boxer had gotten blamed for stealing Haney's shoes. Okay. So when he found out, he said he had to let the other guy come back. And then some rules or something changed anyway, so Haney couldn't even participate in the Olympics. But this is the equivalent. Let's just do the math, okay? We'll start at a low end age. This is equivalent to a 8-year-old slapping a 5-year-old and taking his candy bar or his sucker or something. If he was 14 and Lubin was 17, this is like a junior, senior in high school beating up an 8th grader and taking his sneakers. What the fuck is the pride, the joke, the anything in that? I haven't heard Lubin come out and say nothing because he's probably humiliated that they brought this up. He's probably embarrassed. Now, if it was 17 and 20, that's different. Now, you know what? I'm from the hood. I always fought as much as I could, no matter what. But come on, every person knows their limitations and knows when they might be in possible danger. And I'm from the hood, so I always had to fight. I was a skinny dude, skinny ninja. So I always had to fight, always having to prove myself. So I did it. My big mama raised me that way. But apparently Devin Haney already had money, kind of a rich kid, I guess, in the eyes of people from the hood. He had nice sneakers that Lubin probably would never be able to get without being in the sport of boxing. And at this time, he already had the edge on Haney. He'd been boxing, professionally. He started boxing before Haney. I don't know exactly what year this event went down because that was not stated. But if Haney was 14 and he was 17, he should be completely ashamed of himself. If he was 20 and Haney was 17, he should still be ashamed of himself because as someone that's an older person in a sport, you should be trying to help guide those younger guys. Even if you're 3 years older, you should already have some type of mentality of being some type of leader. But enough said about it because I'm not going to talk about this too much longer. I'm just going to say this. If I was Devin Haney at this time, and Erickson Lubin stepped to me 17 and 20 or 14 and 17. My big mama taught me this and I always rolled with it and it always worked. Grab whatever you can. There's no fair in fighting in the streets. I would take, man, wherever we was at, I promise you, if Lubin beat me, he would have thought twice about ever stepping to me again because I would have got him back before the Olympic trials was over. I would have got him back. I would have got him back then. So we would have had to scrap. So I get people saying what they say, but what the fuck does that have to do with boxing? The young and the boxers. See what I mean? These guys are talking about everything but boxing. Another thing on the agenda, all right? I did go to the site for the PBC boxing. They did finally put a schedule. It shows the fighters, Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu, Rolando Romero versus Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Eris Landy Lara versus Michael Zerafa. I don't know Michael Zerafa very good. I'm sorry, I don't. I know him, but I don't know him. Sebastian Fundura, the guy that Erickson Lubin got his ass spanked by. He ain't take his shoes. He ain't slap him and take his shoes. No, sir, he didn't. Let's keep it moving, though. Let's keep it moving. So I went on. Let's go. Back to the boxing schedule. So those are the fights that I see on there so far. It says it's on Saturday, March 30th. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. This was on Boxing 24/7 Shout out to boxing247.com. Boxing fans will tolerate back-to-back pay-per-view events on Amazon Video Prime if they are quality fights, because they're saying there's supposed to be another event in May, which is definitely going to be pay-per-view. Now, I disagree with this, and for them to make this blatant statement, come on, from March 30th to May 4th. So in less than a month, they're going to have another pay-per-view event. Okay, this might be where Gervonta Tank Davis fights because he's not fighting on the first card. They're not going to get no pay-per-view numbers off no Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu, Rolando Romero versus Isaac Cruz. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, Erislandy Lara, he's good. Sebastian Fundura's a great fighter. Somebody I want to watch. Not pay-per-view yet, though. Rolly Romero, great talker, talks a lot of shit. Not pay-per-view material, though. Keith Thurman ain't fought in how long? And Tim Tszyu, he's the only one on here that's worthy, but he ain't fighting an opponent that makes it pay-per-view worthy. Let's just put it that way. They were saying Jerron Boots Ennis was going to be on this card, possibly. They was naming all these hot fighters, and then this is the card they come up with, and wonder why people are saying, man, shit, I ain't finna pay for this damn fight. I'm not watching this shit on no pay-per-view for those $79.99, which is the alleged cost that their pay-per-views are going to cost on Amazon Prime. The PBC needs to wake up and realize the fighters don't even fight enough. These fighters ain't even proven enough. Y'all charging Floyd Mayweather money for fights that are not even on the level of Rolly Rolando Romero. He's on the card. Let's just say it how it is. The worst champion in boxing is on the card. Even though I think this fight between him and Isaac Pitbull Cruz will be a good fight if Rolly comes prepared and actually, with his new trainer, which that's the other thing that happened this week. Rolly Rolando splitting with Coach Bullet. That happened as well. Coach Bullet told Rolly Rolando Romero to kick rocks. I did a video on that. Y'all can check that out. So now that Rolly has new training, I think this fight might actually be better. But it's none of this. None of this is pay-per-view worthy. Y'all just give it up and be real. Come on, y'all. There's no PBC hating in this. This is not a worthy card. This should be, their first card should just be televised like when they used to have the Showtime deal with Showtime NBC or whatever the hell it was. And they were just showing some fights would just be televised. This should just be an Amazon Prime member. You're a Prime member, then you could just watch the fight. If you're not a Prime member, you could pay, a certain amount of money, $10 or something real low to watch this fight. Or join Amazon Prime or whatever to lure in new customers to Amazon Prime. They could use it in that way to get people to sign up for Prime so that they could watch these fights. But this is not a pay-per-view card. I'm sorry, it's not. There's nothing on here I care about enough to pay per view. This is why boxing is falling off. It's shit like this. Now, y'all know I talk shit about Eddie Hearn. We was talking the trash about Beterbiev, but Eddie Hearn said some shit that made sense about this card. He said this card looks thrown together quick. And it was. We know it was. Because these guys, basically, we just barely found out these guys was fighting like last week. It's been trickling in over the past week or two. So they just threw this shit together real fast. And they expect you to pay $79.99 for this. Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu, Rolando Romero versus Isaac Cruz are the headliners. And they expecting you to pay $79. Man, Al Heyman and them need to get their ass off crack. They doing high level crack. That's all I got to say about that. I'm thinking Tank gonna be on the card. He said he was coming back in March and he's not on this card. He's not headlining. I was thinking he'll be the headliner and it'll be a pay-per-view because I'll buy it then. I'm telling you, depending on who he's fighting. Let me keep it real. I'm a Tank fan, but I'm not going to pay $79.99 to watch him beat up some shit that, somebody that's not, somebody that's way below his caliber or the same damn fights we've been seeing him fight over and over again. The same style of fighter. He been fighting the same fighter over and over again. We know this. They all been Hispanic. Ain't no, quote, black Aboriginal American brothers. Ain't none of them there. None on the resume except I think one. Maybe one, way back. Questionable though. So I just want to see him fight somebody worth fighting. Now, the rumor had that Frank Martin was the fight, and that would have been cool. I would have dug that. Frank Martin and Gervonta Tank Davis in the ring. Good fight. Something I would want to watch. Something I would pay for. Per view. But he's not on this card. So now we don't got Tank coming back. Though it's rumored that he's going to fight somebody over in the UK, which means he's going to fight somebody over there. I don't know. He might pick a brother. I don't know. I just find it very difficult to believe that he will. He's going to go overseas and blow his name up some more overseas. But I'm going to tell you like this. This is why I believe that the Saudi need to go on and take the sport of boxing over. It's because of shit like this. Shit like this card that they want to charge me $79 for. The Saudi been paying these fighters top pay to come over there. They're getting the flight. They're getting everything that goes with it. They're getting major groups and all kinds of boxers, classic boxers to show up at the events over there as well. Just really putting on a really good show. Putting the effort in to get the best fights. Championship level fights. They want Devin Haney. They want Tank versus Devin Haney. Tank wasn't going. We already know about the two Ferrari situation. So Tank said he wants two Ferraris to even sit down and do negotiations with the Saudi. Next thing you know, he's coming out with this fight that he's supposed to be having in the UK. Tank needs to start giving his fans the fights they want to see. It's hard to keep being a Tank fan when I'm not getting the fights I want to see. I'm just saying. So, you know, that's going on. Then another item in news. I don't know if this is even boxing. Floyd Mayweather is retired, but he's still one of the biggest names in boxing right now. As a retired fighter. He apparently given two suitcases full of money to NBA YoungBoy, according to rumors, allegedly, to get NBA YoungBoy to sign his grandbaby, Floyd Mayweather's grandbaby, over to Floyd Mayweather's daughter. Okay, if that interests anybody, like that doesn't interest me. I just thought I'd bring it up because this is stuff that's in the news. This is the stuff that channels is talking about. Another thing going on in boxing this week. Come on, y'all. We're going to keep on talking. Another thing going on in boxing this week is we got Coach Calvin Ford coming home. Great news. I'm so glad Coach Calvin Ford is out and at home. I'm sure, you know, he's probably going to have to go to court or some stuff like that, and we'll find out what the outcome is. But it's just good to have a brother at home, you know, back with his family. And hopefully, you know, things can get rolling with Tank again. And they can get this ball back rolling. So that happened this week. All right. What else happened this week? Let's see. Oh, footage emerged. I saw this. And I'm shout out to Aki TV. Shout out to Aki. Teofimo's father came out and basically tried to clear the smoke with the Teofimo situation.
What I'm trying to say is, like, you know, we didn't mean nothing about when my son said that Top Rank could stay with all their black fighters, because you know what it is. When Devin Haney came into Top Rank and all this, they're promoting him more than they're promoting my son. He feels a little type of way. You know, you got to understand this. We're fighting the top dude, bro. And we got to get some respect for that, you know? And he just feels some type of way, like, you know, like, oh, they just want to promote, you know, in his mind, the black fighters. You know, you got Keyshawn Davis, you got Shakur Stevenson, you got Baby.
There was also another video that was on there of T.O. Sr. trying to tell T.O. to shut up when answering the question about why he made the comments he made to ESPN about keeping the black fighters. So shout out to Aki for that. But the way it sounded was Tio was standing on what he was saying. He didn't want to back up. He has a pride thing. And it sounds like now I might have to put Tio completely off my list for being racist. And I was giving him credit for signing a black fighter, his first black fighter. I was giving him credit. But now, see what I'm saying? This is why you don't run your mouth. This is why, you know what I'm saying? This is why I'm gonna put this into this video now. Boxing needs a makeover. I'm gonna tell y'all again, the video is coming. It's coming. Boxing needs a fucking makeover. This shit is dead. All right. Other things going on, boxing. Channels going against channels. This is crazy to me. All right. We got channels. We all talk about boxing. We all got our favorite fighters. Some of us are objective. Some are subjective. You know, some of us are on neutral ground and try to remain as neutral as possible. Just try to report on things without injecting opinions. And some of us drop our opinions. There's nothing wrong with any form of content that you're creating that is good for the sport of boxing. See, the problem is we got all these guys out here putting out shit. We got guys that support a fighter no matter what the hell they do. We got channels accusing other channels of being bought. There's confirmation, apparently, of other channels being bought. Allegedly. Because I say shit allegedly. I don't know. I ain't got no paperwork or receipts. And that's why I'm just telling y'all this is what's going on right now in boxing. So we got channels going after other channels. We got channels trying to keep other channels down. So that the narratives that need to be pushed could be pushed by those that are paying the highest dollar, apparently. This is alleged. This is all alleged. I don't have receipts. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying this is what's floating around in boxing right now. So this is why I continue to call this sport the young and the boxless. Especially if we talking 135, 140 division right now. It's the young and the boxless. This is really on all levels. Next thing we got here. People still bringing up the Jaron Boots Ennis and Terrence Crawford. I'm just going to say it how I'm going to say it. I'm putting my opinion in on this one. I'm sick of these people trying to ride on the coattails of Terrence Bud Crawford. It seemed like when a boxer does or is trying to do everything to please the fans hate him more. Devin Haney ran a division, moved up, starting his way to dig into another division. What is it? All hate. All hate. This is crazy to me. Terrence Crawford does what y'all ask him to do. Everybody sitting around, oh, Errol Spence went around everybody to make sure he gave him that fight. You know, man, what the hell else was he going to do? Who else was he going to fight that was worth a shit? That we wanted to see him fight at that time. For the past 3 years, we've been wanting to see this fight between those two. We have been wanting to see that fight for far too long. So what? Errol Spence went around and made the fight. That's what he's supposed to have done. Y'all want to blame everything, but not look at the situation. Y'all want to point blame, but not look at the whole situation. Errol Spence had every opportunity to do the same thing earlier in his career. When the Terrence Bud Crawford shit first started, he could have went around, went around the middleman like he did and get somebody else to negotiate the deal for him and get the deal to happen. Before the accident, he could have did it. So I'm just sick of it. Now, and I agree, man. I was on Bushido, man. Shout out to Bushido Boxing, bro. Shout out to Bushido Boxing. He be keeping that shit real. But I agree that, I was watching him earlier and there was someone on there on his channel and they were talking about how it seems like the Bud Crawford fans are the Bud Crawford fans. The Errol Spence fans are now Jaron Boots Ennis fans in absence of Errol Spence. Because these same guys are the ones that keep pushing the narrative that Jaron Boots Ennis should fight Terrence Crawford. Boots don't want none of that smoke. He didn't want none of that smoke. And now that he got a gifted ass belt, he got Star Trek, he got beamed a belt. Fuck it, email champ. He got beamed a belt. Beam me up a belt. Beam me up, Scotty. They beamed this man a belt. Just appeared on his waist. Out of thin air. And now he wants to fight Bud Crawford for his own old belt that he got stripped of. So he says. Jerron Boots Ennis is unproven. I'm sorry, y'all. I hate to break y'all hearts. And y'all gonna push this man into his first actual real competition with the baddest man, pretty much one of the baddest men in the whole sport of boxing right now. Considered to be one of the baddest guys, period. Y'all ain't no Jerron Boots Ennis fans because y'all not seeing reality. Y'all not seeing that he's not ready for this fight yet. Everybody, oh, Bud ain't never seen nothing like Jerron Boots Ennis. Okay, reverse that shit. Who is Jerron Boots Ennis fought that has a skill level anywhere near Terrence Bud Crawford? I've been said this. I've been said Boots ain't ready for that fight. Boots won't be ready for that fight when he fights 2 or 3 more times. Unless he fights some real competition, and he probably gonna take a L. That dude has problems with lateral movement. Somebody that has really good lateral movement, Boots starts losing his cool. He starts overcommitting and doing all kinds of shit that's not in his best interest when he's got somebody that actually know how to move in the ring. See, they've been sending punch dummies in front of him. They might as well have a heavy bag hanging in the middle of the ring and just let him run around the ring and hit it. Because that's almost what they've been putting in front of him. People need to stop acting like, you know what I'm saying, these fighters. Like I said, once again, they're rushing these fighters. Now, they're not rushing Jerron Boots Ennis. He's not being rushed. He should have just been fighting better competition. The man's 30 what, and 31, 30 and 0 or some shit. Let me look up Jerron Boots Ennis. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we'll use the boxing rec. All right, I use that one a lot. Sometimes they be having shit out of date, but his record is the same as Devin's. He's 31, 0 and 0. All right, but the fight I'm referring to is his what was the fight that he had? It was against I want to say it was that fight against Karen how you say his name? Chuck Hachian or something like that. I forget his last name. I actually had to watch a fight even to get that close to it. But yeah, it was that fight. He fought him last January, and they fought, you know, for the IBF interim welterweight strap. And that dude gave him problems with the lateral movement. Gave him real bad problems. He got a unanimous decision. I thought he still, you know, as far as his output and everything he was doing, he dominated pretty much in the fight. But you could see a lot of holes in his game that Terrence Crawford had just put that boy away. Because Terrence has lateral movement. Terrence has good legs. Terrence has good movement. And that Karen Chuck, whatever his name is, my bad. I don't mean to mispronounce your name, bro. I'm just gonna call him Karen Chuck. Okay, we're gonna call him Karen Chuck. He exposed a lot about Jerron Boots Ennis in that fight. And if he did that same ish with Terrence Crawford, all that overcommitting, he gonna end up like Rolly, sleeping. He gonna end up like Rolly, sleeping. And then when that happened, what y'all gonna say? Oh, Jerron Boots Ennis wasn't quite ready for Terrence Crawford. You know, we knew he wasn't. Then stop saying it now. If you knew, stop saying it now. Y'all are the most idiotic fucking fans I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to admit, man. That's pretty much the week in boxing, man. I'm trying to think if it's anything else that most of this is coming off the top of my head, y'all. Really just going back through my head and thinking of the things that have happened this week. Oh, Bill Haney did respond to the slap. Supposed slap. He was not very happy with Willie Moses. He called him all kind of OG backwards ass names and basically told him, y'all lucky real smoke didn't get the popping on location if that really happened.
Shakur Stevenson's coach, Wally Moses. should be too old to get this roasting, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. You know, the old nigga that's talking about old stories and old licks, however they may come. You know what I mean? You know, because I done been shot at and shot, you know what I mean? But I don't talk about that. You know what I mean? So, you know, slaps and fights and whatever might happen when you kids, you old punk, old OG nigga, you know, leave that, you know, where it was, and let's talk about where it is right now. You lame say everything, but let's fight. You know, you pick every story, you know, and you try to cross game, you know, make confusion instead of doing something that we've been doing for so long, so you say. And oh yeah, Wally Moses, why you used to losing? Yeah, I don't do that. We don't do that. So whatever anybody did with you or with you while they was losing, I suggest that they leave you alone.
If that was to really happen. So he's not confirming nor denying. And then Devin Haney, he's not saying much about it neither. He made a little comment like basically that old dude with them fake ass chains, like his word ain't worth nothing. His word ain't worth the chains that he's wearing, or something that he said to that effect. On the lighter side, also there's a picture of Devin Haney with his new boots on. He dressed in some swag and he got these boots on. I can't even remember the name brand of these damn boots. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't keep up that much with all this new fashion shit. I still rock what I rock. I still rock like Jordans and Grant Hills and, you know, exclusive versions of shoes and, you know, shit like that. So I don't really get into all this new, you know what I'm saying, shoes and but there was a good ass comment. The best comment I seen on one channel, I don't know what channel I was on, somebody else that was talking about it and showing him in his dress code, was they said that he looked like a character from Kingdom Hearts. That was the best shit ever. I was laughing my ass off because my daughter, she loved that game, and I swear that's exactly what them shoes and his whole way he was dressed with the shorts on, with the way he had the jacket on and everything. I swear he looked like Kingdom Hearts. It looked just like the shit my daughter be playing. It looked just like it. That shit funny as hell. You know, I heard people pull out Popeye. I think Punch pulled out. Punch drunk. Shout out to Punch. He pulled out, you know, his olive oil, I believe he used. That was a good one too. But man, the real is that man looked like he was on Kingdom Hearts. That man looked like, and man, I was kind of laughing too, because I don't know if y'all remember Courage the Cowardly Dog and how they legs be real skinny, like Muriel's, the wife, the old lady on there, and they had them real skinny ass legs, and then the boots be real big. Look at Devin Haney's legs in them boots. That shit had me laughing. I was dead, bro. That shit looked like Courage the Cowardly Dog. But you know what? That's that man drip. That's his swag. That's how he wanna, you know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking him. I wouldn't rock it. But I ain't knocking him. You know what I'm saying? He young. They doing what they do. They doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? We was young once and our parents was like, shit, look how you dressing. You know what I'm saying? So we already know what it is. We know what it is when it come to that. So I'm not going to knock him on the dress code, but people his own age is knocking him on that shit. So it's just kind of funny. Nothing to do with real boxing. Nothing to do with real boxing. Just a little something. But that's it for this week. In New York. In the boxes. That's it, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I love just dropping the word with y'all. The lives is coming, man. As soon as I can get up out this damn bed and get back active again, man. I got me a nice camera and everything. The lives is going to be popping off, man. Like and subscribe. Hit them notifications. Don't make me go blue blood on y'all. Please just subscribe, man. Y'all coming through. I got so many videos with thousands of views now, and people is not pressing these buttons. I appreciate the people that have been subscribing to the channel, coming back and sharing the content, man. I really appreciate y'all. And about that boxing.